It's 5 o'clock and I am going to call the meeting to order. We'll start with the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Whoa. And as always, our mission of the Tainter Lake Rehabilitation District is to revitalize and protect Tainter Lake. Roll call. I see Jackie is absent. Adam, are you on board?
Yep, I'm here.
Adam's here virtually, and the rest of the board is here. We have the minutes for the regular meeting of 6/18/26. Did we have what other committee meeting minutes did we have to approve?
Should have a water quality of 5/18/26. And as near as I can tell, that is it.
Okay. Yeah, but don't you guys approve those and then submit them? Isn't the committee?
Should have been approved 6/3. I don't think I had one.
I don't know.
Okay. They're out there.
They're out there, but we'll get them the next meeting.
Because Bob, you meet every 2 weeks, right?
No,
Once a month.
It seems like every 2 weeks, but
Yeah.
it's only once a month. All right, that's probably my fault because I think Lisa sent them out. I don't know if they're posted on the website or not, but we'll clean that up and we'll get them the next time. So we have the regular minutes and then we have the water quality minutes.
Yeah.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve that.
Is there a second? Is there a
Excuse me.
second?
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any other further discussion or corrections? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Recognition of visitors and visitor comments. 2 visitors. Either one of you got comments? Okay. Hearing none. Commissioner communication. Do people have communication that they want to share with the board?
I do not.
Yeah, this is Chuck. I went to a farmers meeting, this is part of the Hay River, thing in July, and I can't remember the date it was exactly. And wait a minute here. It was June 16th, and it was, about some of the grant programs that's available to the farmers. And they had money available from Dunn County through Tina Barone, who works there, for rotational grazing and low till and no till and some other programs. And there was about 15 to 20 farmers there, and it was very good meeting. It was very encouraging that these farmers are doing the best that they can to help us out on the water quality end.
Okay. Jim,
What?
do you have anything that you'd like to communicate?
No, since I wasn't at the last meeting, all I'll say is, I see that there was, some movement on signage. As far as like quotes from some outfit locally, I guess. I wasn't sure if the plan was to just reproduce the existing signs, which I think is a dumb idea. So I'm coming up with a new sign design and was actually working on it this afternoon that I hope to have done before the meeting, but did not get it done. So I will share that because I think it's really important for the new signage to look totally different so that it doesn't just, people just ignore it.
Okay, why don't we talk about that in the committee?
Sounds like a plan.
Okay, cool. Grant?
I don't have anything outside of, I don't have anything outside of what we'll probably just talk about in the committee reports.
All right. The one thing, I have to communicate is, we are continuing to, survey at boat landings, through a project through UW Stout. And, I, um, I keep asking the students to send me the URL to sign up for it. They don't get it to me, so we have a little bit of a communication breakdown. But once I get that URL, they have a fancy sign up sheet and everything else, and I think there's about 3 weekends left. They're broken down into 2-hour shifts. It's not hard work at all, and people are relatively friendly. And I would encourage, once we get that out, I'll send it out to people and sign up for a 2-hour shift. You just sit at a boat landing and what I do is I take the survey, I have it, instead of asking them to fill something out, I have it on my phone and I just ask them the questions. And then I punch in the answers while and the other thing I found out, don't do it while they're loading the
Yeah.
boat in.
We're
Wait
backing
until
up.
I wait until they're walking back from the parking the boat, because it's usually mom, dad, and the kids, or grandpa and grandma, and it's like you gotta catch them when there's not stress.
Mhm.
And there's usually stress at a boat landing. That would be the friendly piece of advice that I would offer. But, so. I had something else I wanted to, but for the life of me, I cannot think of what it is. But, oh well, I guess I'll send it to you in an email if I think about it. I was going to, is there anything else that we want to talk about?
Nope.
All right. Moving on to the next thing, which would be, I'm doing about 3 things here at one time. I
The
apologize.
treasurer's report, Al.
Treasurer's report. Does anybody have it up on their computer?
I do.
Oh, could you read it off?
Well, I can say this, that Kunkel's report indicates balances of $57,482.29 in checking and $25,639.29 in savings.
Okay, and I believe, if I remember correctly, that there was checks to go out to for the gun raffle and
Yep.
for the Colfax Messenger. The other thing I would like to add to that, UW Stout is on my case to pay the bill for the survey, that the work that we do. And I've been going round and round with them a little bit because I've never paid for something before I got the final product. But that was in their contract, and that's how Stout works. And so it's moved along far enough now that I know that we're gonna get something out of it. So I would like to add $1,994, I believe is the current bill, the stout, and have that paid, because I think they've sent me the third notice, and so.
Before the job's done. And we can be satisfied in the fact that the students that we hired to do it are showing up every weekend and doing what they're being asked to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been in communication with them. I've been on the boat landings, at least 4 weekends. And, and I guess if we pay it and they don't write the right report or they don't write a quality report at the end, then I'm gonna have to write the report.
Well,
We'll see how that goes. But I think it'll work out just fine. So with that in mind, can I have a motion to approve the treasurer's report with the expenditures and the payment to UW Stout? And you've already approved that once, so it's just actually a second approval anyway.
I'll make a motion to approve the treasurer's report and the additional check for 1994 UW Stout.
I'll second it.
There's been a motion and a second. Is there any other questions or comments or debate? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Committee reports and updates, sedimentation.
Well, I'm here to report that I have requested 2 shovel-ready estimates from 2 engineering companies for engineering on the erosion properties on the Red Cedar River. The estimates will be used to secure grants for the engineering portion of the project. And I did ask them to provide shovel-ready estimates. Because the way it was first presented to us was just going to take too long. They wanted to do 1 estimate for initial and then 1 estimate for final, and it would have been over 2 years. And I kind of want a little movement on this project. One of the engineering firms has responded to me and they're working on it. And I sent them the grant from last year, the surface water planning grant that was turned down. So they have kind of a reference. So that's it for me. Any questions?
Tom, do you have that surface water grant in a format, like a PDF format?
I think so.
Could you send that to me?
Right now?
No, no,
Okay. I think
sometime. It's a difficult piece that the state stuff is difficult to get into, and if you have a PDF, it would be easier than trying to go through 5 people to get the results and stuff.
Yep.
Okay, aquatic vegetation, Adam?
Yeah, a couple things to cover. The first harvest the week of June 22nd was pretty successful. They had our outboards on their harvester, so that increased their speeds to like 5, 6, maybe 7 miles an hour. So things were a little more efficient with trips back to the landings. Thanks South Point for letting us use their launch again. The Aquatic Vegetation Committee met on July 8th and we kind of surveyed conditions that day. And we were booked to harvest this week. And we decided to push it off till August and kind of chase this uprooted vegetation. We're booked for the week of August 24th, but if we have a significant wind event earlier, there's potential we can get 8 p.m. earlier, but it's not a guarantee. And then I think if like nothing happens by August 24th, I don't know, we could potentially push them back. So just trying to play the weather and, it's, that's kind of what we're trying to do. So, the other thing is I've been in contact with Beer Biker quite a bit as they're pursuing the recreational voting facilities grant for harvester, conveyor trailer, and pickup truck. And we're targeting $350,000. So that's that grant is due September 1st. So that's kind of what we're working on as well. So I think that's about all I have. Any questions with any of that?
I'm seeing nobody's speaking up, Adam, so I think we're good.
Sounds good.
Voting and safety. I guess maybe I should start because I was at the meeting.
Yeah, I have no idea what happened.
It was the typical meeting. Didn't you get any minutes?
Yeah, but
Oh,
I mean, the minutes don't make up for
yeah.
being there, so.
It wasn't, basically everything went well. We're down to signage. And we talked about, the different options of signs, and of course, getting different, potential sign makers was something that the group wanted to move on. Sheriff's Deputy Pollock, raised an interesting question, and I know Bob had, made a suggestion prior to the meeting to me. The problem we have right now is we have signs that don't have accurate, zones in them. And, those inaccurate zones would cause some conflict if they actually cited somebody for, slow and awake violations, because they could turn around and say, well, the sign says it is. And so, and Officer Pollock brought that up, that if you have conflicting information like that, then, we should probably, do something about it. So that is what I think created a sense of urgency to get something, completed. Julie, had talked to a local vendor about doing signs. I think they'd be pretty much like the signs that we have right now, and they would be in plastic at a different cost. Did you get?
Yeah.
Did she sent those bids out? And, so basically it was really kind of left up in the air, as to what we should be doing right now, to be moving forward. So with that in mind on signage, we can kind of open the discussion and to see, I would say if at this point in the summer, if we aren't, if we don't have a solution that's going to be relatively short, we should probably be taking down those signs that say, slow and awake. And so it's kind of a compromise, Bob, between what you said and kind of where the committee went. So,
That was gonna be my question, Al. And obviously, we don't own the signage. I think the signs were put up by the Dunn County Sportsman's, maybe?
Yeah.
And does someone from the committee want to contact them and say that the signage is outdated? Can we take them down?
I don't even know, is the Dunn County Sportsman's, like, I'm just thinking the sign that I see at Champney Park. I don't even know if that group is still
I think that one was Tainter Lake Sportsman's. Maybe I'm using
Yeah.
the wrong terminology.
I have to
Well,
go back and look, but I don't know if they're
it
even.
was several people and several
Yeah.
groups that put it out.
I think it doesn't matter who put them up. If they're wrong and they're reflecting a wrong ordinance, they should come down and whoever owns them can have them back if they want them. But I don't, it doesn't really matter who put them up, I don't think.
So, and Jim, you had another option, I believe. You were like, we had talked prior to the meeting. You were going to redesign the sign and,
Yeah, I mean, it has to be redesigned partially anyway, because
Right.
it has wrong markings for the zones, and the zones are renumbered in a different order than where they were previously. And if the new signage looks like the old signage, it's not going to get as noticed. So my thought was, I looked at what some other lakes have done, or municipalities have done with their own signage, and it's all over the board. So which is fine then, because that means we can go our own way with it.
there isn't
So
standard.
the idea is to incorporate a QR code that people can scan. It'll say to scan for slow and awake information. It'll have the lake with the new 2 zones as opposed to 3 labeled, and also say that it is a Tainter Lake Rehabilitation District ordinance. So it's clear who basically the governing body is. So anyway, I have that redesign pretty much done, which I'll send to my committee and then this board as well, so that people can do feedback on it. So I don't know what Julie's folks, how quickly they can do those signs, if it was quick or not.
I don't think it took too long.
Because, I mean, if it's approved, then we can get them printed pretty quickly, and then, you know, I'll volunteer Bob maybe to go with me, and we'll go and take all the old signs down and put new signs up. So,
Well, she did, her signs aren't metal, they're plastic.
mhm.
That's the plastic. And so, I don't know what you were thinking. The thing that, that crosses my mind is, do we want to just deal with this as a board at this point, or do you want to go back to your committee? And
To get them done quicker, I mean, we could have a motion tonight that is something to the effect that I will create a sign that will be distributed to the board, and pending that approval from the board, we'll go forward and have signs produced from that design.
what, the only problem with, it's a timing thing again, it's because then the next time we meet is in August. And so a month has gone by. And then in August, we're kind of tapering off so how do we move this along in a efficient fashion?
Well, it's not an action item on the agenda for tonight,
Right,
so
so we're, okay.
so we've got a couple things here. We would have to approve this purchase of the signs. I mean, I don't care I don't know how long that plastic will last, but I mean, it's not that expensive. I guess if we have to swap them out in 4 years because they start to fade or look like garbage, we'll have to deal with it then. But my original idea was to put up at least temporary signs. And I don't know if that was something that was approved as an item, an action item to do or whatever, but the thought was get something up either that could go over the top of the existing signs
Yep.
so that there's something there till we can get like metal proper signs made, or, go ahead with that.
Yeah, and you're right. The expenditure of those is not on the agenda because we really didn't have anything to put on the agenda at this point. So it would seem to me that taking the signs down would be the first step. And letting the buoys speak for themselves. The next thing is then we have one set of costs. We don't know what you had a vendor, right? That would make metal ones or,
I just researched some potential options.
oh,
So,
okay. All right. So we really can't act on anything. And, it is a budget item, but it's not clearly marked as enough so that I guess I'm not comfortable doing it without having some board action on it, if you know
Mhm.
what I mean. Does that make sense?
You're talking just the purchase of the new ones?
Yeah.
I mean, if it's something that has to get done, to me, it's like you're gonna spend it now or you're gonna spend it later, but maybe that doesn't follow the proper procedures.
Yeah, I think we want to color inside the lines. And it makes it, because it could come back to bite us.
I hate to sound like a fuddy-duddy, but I think we should do it right.
Right, well, I don't think you need to sound like a fuddy-duddy. I just think, I think that's the right way to go about it. So what would you think?
Well, I mean, if it's important to get it done, we can always call um, a a special meeting at the town hall. The only thing on the agenda would be approving the signs and getting them done sometime in August, like week after the meeting or something like that. And it wouldn't have to be 7 people there. It could just has to be,
Or
yeah.
I would rather err on the side of getting it approved that way and having it done. And being clear as to where the expenditures of money are going and being consistent as to what we're doing. And so we'll just do it that way. And we take the signs down and then we'll take Julie's proposal and your proposal and see which one we like. Is that the way you want to go about it?
I don't know. What's my proposal?
Well, you were going to take a design and create a design, and
Mhm.
then I imagine we'd find a vendor then, another vendor. to
Well,
make-
my design is based on, it doesn't matter who prints it.
Right.
I mean, it could be on whatever Julie's vendor, if we want to go with plastic signs. But I can also, in the meantime, see if I can find a proper metal sign vendor. Bob, those are current signs are metal?
Yes,
Okay, yeah.
They're 2 millimeter aluminum sheet, and I would really. I don't think those plastic ones would last. Fun. With,
There is that.
I think the metal one is where we want to go.
Yeah.
And if you would get us the metal ones, and then we'll have that. Oh, we can put that on the agenda, to, approve. Sure.
last week, or last month, Jim had mentioned a certain number that got approved to put in the budget for something like 400. Items.
Yeah, for the 2027 budget was,
That's the 2027 budget.
but that was for this signage.
Right.
So
Right.
we would have to pass it at the annual meeting then, technically.
No, it's just in the boating and safety budget. It's not a special project.
Oh, okay.
Well, if, I'm not gonna make any comments until I know how much they're gonna cost.
Yeah.
You know, and so let's not get hung up over the cost because we don't know what the cost is.
Mhm.
And so let's. get-
Well, it's cost and timing. So if the Julie's vendor can get those done in like a week and a metal sign vendor, it maybe takes 2 months, then, you know, we might do that as a stopgap until,
That would work.
yeah.
That would finish out the season.
Yep.
And it could be relatively quick.
Yeah, because that was my original thought anyway, was to have, again, temporary signs that would just be placed over the existing ones. And those I was just thinking of, you know, just really inexpensive sign stuff that you get printed for, or a banner that you get printed for an event.
Right.
So,
And
and
that-
that would be that's almost that cost.
Right. And then we'd have time to redo, we could look at the posts that those are on. And some of those posts are 20 years old or whatever, you know, as long as they've been up there. Well, maybe we just replace everything at one time and be done with it instead of having to come through and then go back. It's because some of those boat landings are kind of beat up and it would be nice to, you know, have a little nicer stuff.
I didn't budget for new posts.
I think I can find some donation money for that. You're gonna do such a good job on these things that can come under budget. We'll have plenty of money in there, Jeff.
There you go.
Anything else? So where we're leaving that is Jim's gonna finish the design. We're going to, and then you're gonna do a little research.
Yep.
And see what the metal on is. And then from there, we'll put this on the agenda for, August. And if we need to move faster, we will have a special meeting. And the other thing is, some of us will take the signs down. That's pretty easy. That isn't gonna take long.
Oh, they've been up there a while. Good luck
Back-
with some of the bolts or whatever, so.
I'll do.
Bring your Sawzall.
Mhm.
Back to my college days. You can get signs pretty fast. Flashbacks.
Yeah.
Okay,
The only other thing with boating and safety is it's the agenda item, which is the letter, potential letter of support for a county recreation officer, and we can talk about that when that comes up on the agenda later.
yep. Okay. Anything else? Chuck?
Real quick, water quality, the carp abatement committee is on hiatus until January. That's when we started last year too. We're gonna go for our third bounty. And maybe start a week earlier. We talked a little bit about that last week. I'll recap the carp abatement figures at the annual meeting. And our regular water quality, group met June 22nd. We're taking a little break here. Not going to re-meet until August 18th. Kevin and I have been working on the Healthy Lakes and Rivers program pretty much, and that's about all we got on that.
Okay. And fundraising?
Yeah, raffle tickets are being printed right now. We were able to work with a local gun vendor, Tom Gilbert. He's part of the county board, to get 3 guns, which will be our 3 main prizes, and we have some others too. So those will be available for sale at the annual meeting, and once we get them in hand, I'll be ready to start distributing them. Be good to Kip Bowie is gonna work on some marketing material that we can post on Facebook and some things like that to try to get the word out to increase ticket sales. I think that's one of our main improvements that we could make from last year is we sold the vast majority of the tickets last year at the actual event itself. I think people, once they were there, were excited about it and wanted to buy some. I know that it's no one's favorite thing to do to ask people to buy raffle tickets, but the more people who are willing to help get them out there would be great. And they are, last year we did it $10 a ticket. This year it's $5 if you only want one. And I should have checked my math, but if you buy a package or a packet of tickets, it's less than what it was last year. So we brought the price down some in effort to hopefully get more people to want to buy them.
Okay. Good. Any questions for Grant? Okay, on to discussion and action. Okay, approval, for creating a letter of support for the county recreation officer. You, got a copy of that letter? I thought it was very detailed. Very well done. I also had sent out the sheriff's proposal for the officer. And this has been something that's been talked about at the boating and safety committee meeting. And so the Deb McGrath wrote the letter. And with input from all of us and from the safety or the sheriff's proposal. But you can see it's lays out a pretty well thought out case for having that officer. Officer Chad Pollock was there and shared with us what the sheriff had proposed in the past. And the biggest issue that that he faces is to find deputies that are willing to work overtime because that isn't part of their normal patrol. And it's not just boating, it's also ATV, UTV, and snowmobiling. And so the thought from the committee and the committee discussion was to pass a resolution of support or create a letter of support to send to the county because the county is beginning their budget process at this point and in support of the sheriff's proposal. I want to make that clear. It's a letter of support for the sheriff's proposal. It is not our proposal. It is the sheriff's proposal. And I know there were some people out there that thought we were hiring a recreational officer. All we're doing is creating support for the county officials to look at this and examine this as a potential solution to some of the issues that are going on.
And some background on it, because I brought it up to the committee in the first place, is that this has been a perennial request for the sheriff's department. They go before the county board each year. This goes back to even when I was serving on the board, that they would like to hire a dedicated recreational officer and not just have deputies pick it up in overtime or spare time or whatever. And it would be 50% funded by the Department of Natural Resources, so they wouldn't be on the hook for the whole amount. So, and it comes up pretty much every year, and almost every year it gets cut out of the budget. So, so at the minimum, it would be worth it for this this organization to support the sheriff's department in their efforts to hire a recreational officer, and let the county board know that we feel that way, so that there is that additional support. I don't know how much that'll move this particular county board toward that, but it's good to register our support.
Why do they consistently take it out of the budget?
Because they don't have enough money.
Okay.
So everything gets cut every year. Each department presents their wish list of things. The sheriff's department has always has a number of different things that they want to fund. From squad cars to additional officers and what have you. So, and this always seems to be the low hanging fruit that gets cast aside. I will toss it out there for the board to think about. What Al mentioned, this is not the Lake District proposal or funding this, but at some point, if this continually, we think that this is an important thing, it might be something to budget a small token amount towards the recreational officer, because if there's additional skin in the game, then maybe they would be more willing to support it. But at the very least, I mean, this is like a no-brainer type of thing as far as doing a letter of support for the position.
So we aren't agreeing to doing any funding.
No.
Right.
Okay, I'm good with that. I mean, what are we hoping to get out of it, I guess? Are we hoping that we have somebody sitting in the channel writing no wake tickets every weekend of the summer? Like, I don't,
No, I think it's a broader issue. I think it's, monitoring, boat traffic, for us. Okay. Realize that there's snowmobiles, UTVs and ATVs also.
and,
That are
and
underneath.
Lake
this.
Monoman and Lake O'Galley and
Right.
Elk Lake and,
Right. But for us, to me, it's not a slow no wake issue. It is an issue dealing with boater safety, people driving their boats too close to docks, all of those enforcement issues, because essentially, we don't have that much coverage, on Tainter Lake, as far as enforcement of, boater safety rules.
Yeah, well, I think everybody on the lake knows that the only time that I know of that they patrol, and most people, are the holidays, Memorial Day, 4th of July, and Labor Day. I haven't seen them out or don't know of them being out much other than those 3 holidays.
They have a staffing issue. And so this is one way to solve the staffing issue. And if you ask me, Grant, my goal is to get this as a discussion item in front of the county, as opposed to saying, like Jim says, we don't have it. It's easy to cut something you don't have. It's harder to cut something that you do have and you have to pare it back. So it's a real issue, and I think the county, and I hope that we would highlight that for the county. Does that answer your question?
yeah, I mean, everybody's got an opinion on how to prioritize things. I think, in my personal opinion, I'd way rather go to the county and team up with them on things that would help solve our sedimentation issue, our aquatic vegetation issues, and our water quality issues. But everybody's got a right to their opinion. So I don't know that the county's all of a sudden this year going to wake up and have more money to be able to fund it. I was reading that they need a new highway department shed basically to store things. It's going to cost, I think it was 16 million. Few other significant investments. So, I mean, I think it's starting to get away from, at least why I was initially interested in being on the board, which was cleaning up the lake and making it a better place that way. And so
But you also understand that another duty they would most likely have would be monitoring our boat landings. And they would be checking for boats that are being backed into the water to see if they were carrying any invasive species. Yeah, it's not the same as cleaning up the lake, but it's a way to help keep stuff out of the lake that doesn't belong.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I don't have much to add, so.
Adam, you've been pretty quiet.
I think supporting the position is fine, but I don't ever want to put any financial ties to the Lake District to support it. They should be supporting us, the county should, for lake improvement. And we shouldn't be giving the county money when we have $228 million of assessed value in the district.
Right.
Just my opinion here, but this is gonna be a tough one because, one of the things that Kevin and I learned when we were talking with Dunn County is they're gonna cut 16 positions somewhere in that hierarchy this year. So it's gonna be a tough one, but I'm voting for it.
Yeah, there's there's no money involved with it, so I mean, it's not likely to move them when it comes to budget, and it's actually budget time, but it's at least can reflect where, some of the board feels about this, so. Yeah, I think that, I mean, the chance of the county like putting money toward anything in the lake as far as like sedimentation or that stuff is zero. But they might be willing to work toward like improvement on the boat landing type stuff and the stuff that, since that is their property, it's up to them to really keep that up to date and maintained. So, but
It's part of the political process
yep.
and it's
And that's where I guess I
not
get a little,
clean.
that's where I get a little hung up with it is if it's something that they've consistently decided not to do. And then we're gonna try to put whatever influence, which probably isn't a whole lot, behind having it. Does that put you in a good light or a bad light? Does that make people think better or worse of what we're trying to do in general? And I don't know that I need an answer for that, but it's just something to chew on. Like they've consistently not done it, and now we're gonna get behind something that they don't want to do.
It's not that the county board, speaking from experience of being on the board, it's not that the board is not in favor of it. It's always that something has to not get supported.
Yeah,
So it's not like we really don't think you need a recreational officer. At least when I was on the board, it was always, this would be a really good idea. I know that the committee, when I was on the Judiciary and Law Committee, this would come up all the time, and all of us on the committee thought that this was a good idea, meaning sheriff can propose what they want. And the committees then may recommend that to the overall board, kind of like happens here. And it's not like it's not like we're supporting something that it doesn't have support. It's always has support. And it's one of those ones where it's like, damn it, no, something
Yep.
has to get left on the table, and it's going to have to be that.
Yep.
Because it's kind of just, there's a lot of, when I was on the board, we had to cut in complete departments that had been part of the county for 25 or 30 years that provided excellent services, but they had to go because there wasn't the funding. So, I don't think that we're going to be looked at differently because we are supporting the sheriff's department with this position as far as like it's not something the county supports. It's most of the time it is something that's supported, but can't ever have everything. So,
I
Yeah,
think right now we're just looking to vote on this, the letter of support. I mean, if someone were to make a motion for that, you know, it's completely separate from putting money toward it. I think that's another story. So I think we ought to just stick to, are we gonna do a letter of support or not?
I guess the way I look at it is, if in a perfect world, is this something we would want? And if the answer is yes, then we can write a letter of support, knowing that there's a possibility it's gonna get scratched out when it comes time for final budgeting. But just the same, it's a good idea. Why wouldn't we support the sheriff in his?
because it may
Proposal.
even be possible that I don't know what kind of grants are available for. I know there are grants available for sheriff's departments, and we don't look into that because we're not a sheriff's department. But maybe if they have a letter of support like this would enable them to seek out a grant for somebody or something. So,
Well,
I,
okay, Adam, did you want to say something?
yeah. So I mean, I think it's a good position and support it, and obviously support, the sheriff's department. And I just hope the county doesn't view it as this is like our only ask. It's probably $100,000 position, and I'd hate to down the road us go, like maybe want something from the county as far as funding or staffing or hauling vegetation or partnering on a sedimentation survey and hearing we got your recreational officer, so that was expensive and we're not going to do anything else. And so I hope that doesn't happen. I'm all for pushing the letter to the county board, but I'm not for the Lake District funding the position. And I hope if like we have other agendas and ideas for lake improvement from the county, that this doesn't, take that chance away. But I'm for like politicking to support the position.
yeah, I
So,
don't know how it would impact us. It's like we're not asking for any money. So,
right. But like someone could view it as, hey, we're doing this for you. And if we want something else down the road, they might, the answer from, county supervisors could be like, well, we did that, like we're already supporting this, so, but just wanted to put that out there. So,
Yeah, I think that we're all sensitive to that. And I think that from a, political process, I think Jim and Tom are right. We have to get it out there. We have to create the support. The sheriff's department knows that we're in support of this. There are grants out there. And maybe something like a letter of support is that there's impetus to be creative and do something different. Because there is support. But if you're the only person that's promoting it, you don't have much of a leg to stand on. And I think we have to be very, very clear that we are supporting the sheriff's request because we have no enforcement authority, period.
Right.
The only thing we can do, we can make ordinances if the township allows it. But what we can't do is we can't enforce those ordinances. We don't have the capabilities to do that. So we have to rely on somebody else. So I think, I just want to be clear that we are not asking or committing any money or dollars to this adventure or venture, depending. Did I sum that up adequately?
Yeah, I think we're ready.
All right. The only thing I would ask is, Jim, who do we send it to? Would you suggest?
I guess, if I were sending it, I would send it to the county manager,
Okay,
chair of the board, the sheriff's department, and potentially the two supervisors whose districts touch Tainter Lake.
so that you, all right, just so that I write this down. The manager,
Yeah, so Dan Dunbar,
sheriff,
Sheriff Big,
and then,
County manager.
yeah,
yeah, Randy Prochnow is the chair of the Board of Supervisors. Or just hand it to him when you see him at Jake's.
Randy Prochnow, and then who else?
Dan Dunbar, the county manager,
Yep,
and Sheriff Big. And then, potentially the two supervisors whose districts encompass Tainter Lake.
all right. That would be what, Wilsey and
Shackleton.
Dustin. And the heading on this one, it says Tainter Lake rehabilitation, it says resolution supporting. Is that a good enough heading?
I think so.
And did anybody see any changes that they wanted made? Okay, so did you make a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we send a letter of support to those people that Al just talked about.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, there's been a motion and a second. Is there any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Hi.
Aye.
All right,
Opposed? Motion carries. Well, that actually took longer than I
Yeah, I
thought.
didn't think that was gonna be a big deal.
Um, let's see where we're at here. Well, let's get the other letter. And can we jump down to the other letter and get that done?
Sure. I'm just gonna introduce it real quick. Long story short, we can't get any official help or funding for the boat cleaning stations until the Parks and Rec 2018 plan is revised. We want to be included in the process. Right now, it's this 2018 plan is starting to be revised, and we want to get our foot in the door and help and see if we can get some boat cleaning station. Dunn County owns the 3 boat landings on the lake. Kevin? You bet.
Yeah, Kevin McGrath, E 544677 Avenue, Menominee. What we talked about with the Dunn County folks, when after several different meetings with the facilities folks and the environmental planning people, is they already had a list of priority, things they want to ask for grant money for across the county. And a lot of it comes from their outdoor recreation plan. So it's like a strategic plan, which they update supposedly every year. It has been updated since 2018, or revised, but they still go by this plan as an outline of things that were agreed to work on, and the boat landings are not in there listed. They're in there listed as property that they own, but no action. So the letter basically asks the facilities committee, which I understand sets the priorities of what will be funded, that they include updating the boat landings at only 3, not Champlain Park, because that's beyond the scope of what I think we want to do for the boat cleaning stations. that they include the boat landings in their next update, which theoretically or practically would allow them or give them a basis to request grant funding next year for those boat landing stations, cleaning stations there. And the other thing we asked to do is to be included as a recreation partner to the county. Several organizations are listed in there, and we are not one of them because we were created after the last thing was updated. So that's kind of a no-brainer. We want to be working in partnership with the county. And this letter just asks them, it's very collegial, I think, to just be included in it as a means of improving the lake and also the quality of recreation facilities here. That's all. Questions?
So in other words, Kevin, we're just asking to be at the table.
Yeah.
And when they have discussions.
Yeah, they're gonna have an open meeting supposedly when they open this recreation plan for to revise it and have public comments, but I want to get our request in there. So it's kind of in the minds of the commissioners who work on this, I guess the facilities committee, that we're already kind of bird dogging them and wanting to be included. And Bo will have another bite at the apple once they start the process.
Right.
Yeah, we thought we were really close. We worked on this from November last year until April when they kind of threw us that curveball on the 2018 plan. And, it is what it is. And we just want to be part of the committee again.
Any questions for Kevin or,
There's no cost involved, so it's like and the other thing, I think it's important for the Lake District to kind of assert itself and get the word out of, we're a player within the county. We want to be recognized as such. And so this
Right.
is just one opportunity to do that.
Chuck, did you want to make that motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we send a letter that Kevin McGrath created to the county, to Luke Wilsey, and on behalf of Al Brown. I think needs your signature there on the bottom, Al, somehow.
Yeah.
I make a motion that we do that.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Is there further discussion? The only thing I would say, that I would change the ending. It says in highest regards and representing the Tainter Lake Rehabilitation District. And then I'll sign it. Okay, I just don't want, at the end, I just want to make sure that it isn't seen as just coming only from me.
Oh, okay.
That's all.
Okay.
Are you good with that?
Yeah, fine. I mean, you have the electrons to do that, or do you want me to do that?
I can do that.
Okay, cool.
Well, anything else? Well, hearing no more, for Adam, did you want to say anything from the heavens? I guess not. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Annual meeting preparation. Proposed budget, you all have the proposed budget. All the stuff went out, the agenda went out. The room is rented. The only thing that has to be done yet, are two things. The committee, information for PowerPoint, it would be nice to have maybe 2 paragraphs. Bullets are fine, for, each committee as to what's happened. And then, like we did last year, I believe, is just take, 3 to 4 minutes. Just highlight what your committee did throughout the year. It's all, I sometimes think that just because what gets put on Facebook, they think that's the only thing that's happened. I know that Tom has been, probably has had in the last year, at least 25 meetings And nobody ever knows about them because it's your proverbial moving the rock uphill and then having it slide back over the top of you. So, but I think people need to know that some of the stuff has been going on and we've been representing them in more ways than just one or two of the more visible things that we've done. So if you would get that to me, I'd like to have that done a week before the annual meeting, if I could. And like I said in my email, if you don't give me anything, then you get what I put down. And so, I mean, I won't, it'll be good, but, or as best I can do, but I'd just as soon have it from you. And volunteers, my wife already has the registration names all done. And the trusts are all pulled out of all of the things, so those are all done.
Yeah, and I'm working on the volunteer list and Bob and his partner signed up and I'm short like one person and haven't hit my daughter up yet, so I think we're gonna be in good shape.
Oh, don't forget Pete, he makes a great greeter.
I have tried, I talked to Tom, I've emailed Pete twice and texted him once and Tom said, just call him, so I'll call him.
Yeah, call him. He usually answers his phone if he hears it. Anything else we need? The proposed budget was what we had talked about. It was $600 different than the last time that you saw it. That's because we had $600 in there twice. So we dropped it $600. So that's why it was 67,000 instead of 68, but I mean, it's the same budget. There was just I can't remember what the $600 were for, but it was in there twice.
It was water quality testing
Oh,
thing.
yeah, the testing was in twice.
Yep.
So,
And as far as the meeting goes, I will get the note cards and I think I have enough pens left from last year.
I have a box too, that
Okay.
I'll bring those.
Tom, I bought some note cards, 3x5, pink, right?
Yeah,
That's how they vote, right?
yeah, I think, I don't remember
You got
what
'em?
color we had.
I got
last
them. I bought them. I got them from Amazon. We're set.
All right, cool. I will go, I usually go out a couple of days before to make sure that the AV stuff is done. Jim, would just kind of let you do your thing and I just trust you'll do the best you can.
And send me the PowerPoint beforehand or when it get close, just because I'll clean it up.
Okay. I always like people to clean up my stuff. That's
Mhm.
good.
That sounded a little bit like a dig there almost.
No,
Well,
not at all.
what happens, you stare at something so long, you forget you miss the easy stuff. All right. We got it in my notes, Jim.
Okay.
All right. Anything else on the annual meeting? 9:00, 8:00 registration starts.
7:30 meeting for the volunteers.
Okay. Cool beans. That's all that's on the agenda, gang. Do I have a motion to, next meeting is,
August 20th.
August 20th. Any agenda items?
I put new signage new signage purchase discussion. Or discuss new signage purchase. About that.
Okay, new signage.
One thing, and I don't know if it needs to be on next month's, but I think we should do it sooner rather than later after this annual meeting, would be to spend some time talking through mill rate math. So we can start to give people a better idea that as we propose projects or propose funding this or that, how much is it actually gonna cost me or you based on the home value? I think there'd be a way to, with a little bit of work, there'd be a way to create a chart or, just kind of explain how that all works. So people have a better understanding of that. As I get feedback on some things, like, I think that's the biggest missing piece that people don't understand is you start talking about bigger numbers, especially, how much is that going to cost me? And I want, everybody in the Lake District and ourselves to have a good understanding of what it means to bring forward those ideas.
Yeah, and some of that, I think, is going to have to be done through public meetings. I think you're gonna have to sit people down and then walk them through that. And any time we propose a large expenditure, I think we're gonna have to have public meetings
Mm-hmm.
and have the math out there as a component of that. The only thing you realize with the working with mill rates is that they're gonna change.
Yeah.
Even the mill rate that we have for this year is only an estimate because the property values of the district aren't certified until October. And then so all those property values keep changing. So we can say that this year's 67,000 is 21 cents per thousand. But then when it gets to the actual tax bill, it'll be different. But it's within 10, 15 bucks.
Sure. And I mean, I think maybe it's just starting with talking through how it works, I mean, and so it maybe won't be to the penny of anything. I don't think I would expect anything like that, but just making sure that anybody who's interested has that information of how to figure things out and how to understand essentially how it works,
Right.
how does it function? And yeah, the numbers may change here and there, but what's it based on and how it works?
I think a couple of years ago, we sent out a spreadsheet, maybe it came from you, Al, on the mill rate calculation. And you could get pretty close, like you say, within 10 or 15 bucks if you said, well, my house is worth 250,000 or my house is worth 400,000 or my house is worth 500,000. You could kind of get pretty close to that figure.
That's exactly what I'm kind of getting at.
I went back and checked mine for this year for my taxes. And it was $20 off, but it was $20 lower. But you wind up with things like the tax credits plays in there. And we look at the property values as a district, but we are parts of 4 other districts. And so the town of Tainter is going to treat it a little bit different than the town of Sherman. And by the time it goes through those maturations, it changes. But you're right. The basic concept is it's a pretty easy formula once you know what figures to put in. It's a pretty easy formula.
Yeah, we could even put up a tax statement. A lot of people don't know that you look on this certain line to find out how much you're paying for, to the TLRD. It says it right on your tax statement, but I don't think a lot of people notice that.
Yep. Yep.
But if we have public meetings, we should have a purpose for them. I mean, we should be creating a direction. If just to create discussion, we need to be,
Maybe we think of it as, you know, a discussion topic for a meeting here amongst the board, so we're all aligned on how it works. And if we do get to the point where we're having public meetings, then we can walk in there and be like, now we all are on the same page on how it even works and how we should talk about it and those types of things. So, and
I think that's an excellent idea of an educational component, and I'm trying to figure out.
it's almost like a guest speaker. I'm not asking for like exact science or anything, but I would like to learn more about it. And I think it would benefit everybody to,
I'm just trying to think of who we could have do that. When I was working, I used to have my financial advisor do it.
is there somebody from the county and their financial department that could explain things or?
The problem with getting it from our local officials is they have to be careful what they say.
Yeah, yeah,
Whereas if you have an advisor or a consultant, he gives you the information and then they drive away.
yeah.
You
right.
know,
Yeah, they're
and
not
so-
for it.
I've learned that local officials are really hesitant to stick their necks out too far because somebody will hold them accountable to what they said,
Mhm.
which is good. I'm not saying that you want somebody just to spew. But on the other hand, that
You're gonna
create-
play your cards tighter to your vest when you're in that situation. I would
Right.
too.
Right.
So, I mean,
But I think, Grant, we should think about that and figure out how to do that. Because I think there's somebody that could do it. There would be somebody that would, if we start asking around.
I mean, it's something that we could have on the September agenda or something like that too, you know, it's not,
Well, September would be the best time to do that because then, that's when, you know, most budgets and annual, I mean, that's, you start going into your fall budget seasons for all your municipalities. You know, that are done. Your school districts usually have their annual meetings by September. And their actual numbers aren't until November 1st. They have to be in, but October 15th is when they have the new values. So it's right in line. It's a good idea. I put it down on my notes. I don't know who that is yet.
yeah, we'll figure it out.
All right. Anything else? Motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
We got a second?
I'll second.
Okay, motion second to adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.